Hi, welcome to The Collectors. I'm Kent Lund. I'm finally convinced that there's someone who collects just about anything. My next guest collects squirrel-related items. Her name is Holly Goudie. Her collection actually earned a Guinness World Record. And we're going to be talking to her about her collection next on The Collectors. I don't know, Holly, can you hear it? There's a squirrel running on the roof of our studio right now. This is pretty interesting stuff.
I think they want to join us.
Yeah. You know, it could be the ghost of, unfortunately, the famous Peanut the squirrel who died a couple of weeks ago.
Sad.
And I had this show planned 3 weeks or a month ago, and a tragedy happened in New York, I think it was, in between our planning for this show and this discussion of a collection. Very tragic story, so we'll kind of dedicate this to Peanut the squirrel. Well, Holly, welcome to The Collectors.
Thank you.
We're happy that you're here to talk about your collection, and I'd like to know how this journey started. What was the first item that you found that started your collecting?
Okay, well, my collection, it wasn't a collection. My very first one was this sandy cast. I had been given money as a thank you.
Okay.
And I had hung on to it for a while, and I was going to buy something really special with it. And when I saw this, that was it. And
okay.
So I bought that. And
about what time and stage of your life did that happen?
I was like 20,
okay.
1981.
Okay. Last year.
It started.
Okay.
So I've been collecting for 40 years now.
40 years, yep. Okay.
So this was my first one. So that was just one. But my mother then gave me this necklace and then a t-shirt. So now we kind of had a collection. So she kind of started it. Sadly, she only lived a few more years, so she never knew what happened.
What really happened,
What
yes.
really happened. So she kind of started it. And at first, it was hard to find things. I also didn't have much money. And there wasn't the internet, so there might be something on the catalog, or traveling. On a trip like with my father, I had spotted this pin in a gift shop out west and went and told him, I said, oh, I really liked it. And again, it was kind of pricey for me at the time. But I thought, no, I really do want it. And I went back to get it, and it was gone.
That happens a lot with collectors. If you don't buy it when you see it.
Yep. And it took a few years for me to learn that lesson.
Right, okay, sure.
There's still times I mess up on it. But I went back, and it was gone. The whole trip I kept saying, every time we drove by a place that I thought might sell it, I said, can we stop? And he wouldn't stop. And I thought, anyway, so I was kind of frustrated. Here, it was meant to be a Christmas gift. But by the end of the trip, I was so sick with chicken pox.
Oh.
At age 30, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, that's unusual.
He gave it to me then. So my dad had gone and gotten it.
Okay.
And I didn't know it.
Oh.
But since then, has traveled many places and would bring me back squirrels.
So in a way, it became sort of a family. Whenever they knew you were into squirrels, and let's find Holly a squirrel if we see it.
But it continues. So even 20 years ago, when our good family friends went to China to bring back the daughter that they adopted.
Oh, okay.
They brought back this, and that's what her area of China specializes in, is this needlework, and it's the same on both sides. They brought her back a horse because they're known for their horses, but they found a squirrel and brought it back. So people have brought me them from many places I haven't traveled to.
So this is not knitting or crewel. It's some sort of a.
Yeah, it's it's needlework.
Needlework. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So, it continues with travels, most trips to this day. I try to find something. Our most recent trip was to Iceland, and going into it, it was expected that I would not find.
I don't think there's squirrels in Iceland. I don't know. But
there are no squirrels in Iceland. So it was like, this was I thought, I'm not even going to look for them. There's
Right.
no point. And lo and behold, we were eating lunch in a cafe that was totally pink, all pink. And then up above the baked goods, there was a fall display. And I looked, and there were 4 of these on display.
Oh boy, that's not stuffed. It's some
It's
sort of a
fake
material.
fur, yeah.
Fake
And
fur. Okay.
they had 2 this color, a gray one and a white one. And anyway, when they finally weren't too busy, I went up and said, is there anywhere I can purchase one of these? I
Okay.
collect
In
squirrels.
Iceland?
Yes. And she gave it to me.
Oh, that was nice.
So,
okay.
You know, so I could actually bring a squirrel home from Iceland, which
You probably might find something on every trip you're on sometimes if you're looking.
there've been trips I have not
Okay.
found anything.
Okay.
I did not bring one back from Alaska when I went.
All right.
I more recently have had 2 different friends bring me back one from Alaska then.
Okay, because they
But,
found it. That's
Yeah,
good.
I did not at the time I was there. So
Okay.
there are trips that I have not.
And what's the bowl here? Is that
So at times when people come over, I like to find different types of things, and I prefer even functional things,
okay?
if possible. So when one friend came over to view my collection, she's like, well, do you have any Polish pottery? And I went, no, I don't. And then so I actually bought an ornament first, and then
Christmas tree
a
ornament.
Christmas tree
Okay.
ornament. And then I have a bowl, I have a baking dish, but I use this every day.
Oh, that's
So
That's
the
actually- that's
type of
quite
thing I
handsome,
like.
actually.
But as I was collecting, once the internet became available,
I was going to say, how do you? You're telling us how you found these. Now that the internet's around, you can go to certain sites and look for things.
well, at one point there still is. There's 2 different online just squirrel stores.
Really?
So it used to be, I would say, okay, at Christmas time, I'll spend $100 and pick what I want the most.
Okay.
And I
You're
did
selective.
That. Yeah, I did that for a while. And then in 2016, things changed when the bag down there, the messenger bag, I had met the artist at an art fair, and she had done a fall-themed one. Well, then I wanted something summer, and she did that one. But she posted it on Etsy for me to actually acquire it.
Oh, so you could buy it through the
Yeah,
system.
because
okay.
she wasn't near me.
Right. Okay.
So that was the method. And that opened up Etsy to me, which is my real weakness now. So it's like, I prefer supporting artists when I can
That's nice.
and getting things done and try to support small individuals.
So if you go to Etsy, what do you put in? What do you?
Well, squirrel, but then
Okay.
I do a lot of holiday type stuff. So just, I'll put in squirrel Thanksgiving or squirrel Halloween. So each season I'll tend to buy one more new thing. I limit myself to 1 a month on Etsy. And
you have 3,000 items, right? Or
Yeah.
2,999.
3,000.
3,000 items. So that's there's a lot of seasonal purchases
Yes.
there, and in between. And
But-
gifts.
And
Okay.
a more recent, I love this artist now, and
Okay.
a backpack that's fully functional. I just think it's gorgeous.
Okay.
It's very functional. I like things that I can do. Over the years, many years ago, I started wearing squirrels items. So I was a school media specialist for 37 years, school librarian,
Okay.
and I did 20 years at first at elementary. So the kids would even look. Some of them would, check out what's Mrs. Goudie wearing today. It might be a pin, it might be my earrings, it might be my socks.
Sort of find the squirrel
Yeah,
on Mrs.
find
Goudie.
the squirrel.
Right. Right.
So, and that has continued. I mean,
Okay.
it's to this day, people at work or at church will stop and say, okay, where's your squirrel today?
Oh, secret stuff.
Yeah.
On the backpack, I just was curious. Did you commission that, or was
No.
it already? Okay, it was already made. And you saw
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There, I have commissioned pieces. As far as wearing things, for many years, I could only find silver rings. And it's like, and at times if I'm really dressed up for something, so I finally for my 50th birthday, had a gold ring made because I just couldn't find one.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so it was a matter
A
of...
jeweler here in Michigan? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I went and commissioned and had it crafted because I just couldn't find one.
Oh, that's cool.
But a lot of them, over the years, once you collect something, people give them to you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they know, and they see it.
Some are wonderful, some are real surprises.
It's very easy for your friends to know what to get you at Christmas, right?
Yeah. So even one of my special ones was on my 50th birthday, my one girlfriend created this quilt for me and brought it to me. Another friend showed up one day with 3. She said, "You're a good home for wayward squirrels."
Wayward squirrels.
And what even happens is when people are clearing out their grandmother's curio cabinet,
Oh, yes.
and there's one squirrel, they say, "I know somebody that would like that," and I end up with it. One good friend that has passed, she brought me a music box that had been hers as a child.
Oh.
This one had been my friend's as a kid, and she was cleaning out her mother's house and came across it. She brought me 3 that day. One day recently when I went to church, I came home with 6 more.
Everybody in the congregation knows, and so
Most people. There's a few.
when they pass the basket, they fill it with squirrels for you, right?
So yeah, it can be amazing. It's sometimes interesting, people that I have known quite a long time that I suddenly will really don't know that I collect squirrels. It's kind of like,
Didn't you know that I? Oh, okay.
yeah, because there are people that haven't paid attention.
This one's quite colorful. The squirrel with the Easter eggs.
Yes, so that one is one that took quite a while. I knew of the butternut hollow figures.
Oh, that's a particular line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'd seen mostly rabbits before on Easter displays where my stepmother had been living. And then when I discovered there was the squirrel, I went, oh, it's Easter. I grew up in Holland, Michigan. It's got wooden shoes on.
Oh,
it's like,
perfect.
I just loved it. So I spotted it on eBay, and I wasn't into all the bidding. I don't do a lot of eBay. And that was probably before you really could buy it now and stuff.
Oh, right,
You
sure,
couldn't
okay.
buy it as a guest.
Okay.
But I had a friend that did eBay, so I asked her to bid on that for me. And she did, and we lost it. Somebody overbid it at the very last minute, and I thought, okay, fine. So I kept watching, and usually at Easter time I would do a search since it was more of an Easter item. It took 6 years till it showed up as a full set of 6 characters, which there's a whole series.
Well, I was just going to say, you know the maker, you know the manufacturer,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they probably have different series, and you knew this one, but it took 6 years.
6 years till it popped up, and I think the person didn't know what they had. I actually bought all 6 figures for the price of the original first one had been.
And were they all 6 the same, or all doing different things?
No, there's like 3 rabbits, a mouse, and a squirrel.
All right. So you got the whole set.
I got the whole set.
Wow.
So I'm quite pleased. So I set the whole set up at Easter on top of my desk. The one that took me the very longest to get, and I do collect all types of things, which a lot of people find that interesting.
I think it's the Arby's one.
Yep.
I want to hear the story about the Arby's water skiing squirrel.
Yeah, so the water skiing squirrel, I went into Arby's and saw it on display for the meals, for kids' meals.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, and I discovered that I was too late, that they had
discontinued.
It had already been given out.
Okay. Oh.
So I went to several locations and asked if I could even purchase the one on display.
Right.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Like McDonald's will let you purchase the ones if they have them, and I think once before I'd purchased one of theirs that way.
Okay.
But I went to several locations and I was told no every time. I thought, okay, oh well. So on and off when I would be just trying or thinking, killing time or trying to settle down a search on eBay for that.
Okay.
And part of the trick is what, am I using the right search terms maybe?
I was just going to ask, what would you say? Arby's water skiing squirrel. Okay.
So I tried different things over the years, and it never came up. Never, never, never. And finally, 18 years later, I'd actually just seen Twiggy. So Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel, is an actual squirrel. And National Geographic did a National Geographic Kids series for the Arby's where they did different amazing animals.
Oh, okay, okay.
And the squirrel was just one of the set
And,
of the toys.
when they did that, it was the National Geographic is a real squirrel that water
Yes.
skis behind probably a remote-controlled
Yes, a
boat.
remote control boat.
And so Arby's picked that up for the kids and brought it into their stores. I wonder how long it actually they gave these out.
And a lot of that stuff is only about a week's time span that they do
yeah,
it.
not very long. Okay.
So
Well, 18 years.
it took me 18 years. And when I saw Twiggy in person, I talked to the owners and I said, I have been looking for, and they said they had one of the toys.
So you actually talked to the people that did the video with the real squirrel.
Yes, the people that own the squirrel.
Okay.
So it was like, and they're like, we do have one. But then I tried again, and maybe because it had been in the area, I don't know, but it popped up, and I was able to get it, and I was...
On eBay it popped up.
Yep,
Oh,
and I was able to get it.
Well, anybody who's going to collect something and waits 18 years to find it, this is a very common thing with collectors on finding things and the places they find things. Have you ever found something in an odd place or in a unique way somehow? Maybe when you were traveling, obviously Iceland was very unique.
That was my more unusual. I mean, I've gone to places like Marysville, Kansas, that's capital of black squirrels, and they have all
Wait a minute, there's a place in Marysville, Kansas, and
they claim
it's
they're
the capital of
city with black squirrels.
black squirrels. Okay.
But there is about 6 cities in the U.S.
Oh,
that
I didn't know
try
that.
to claim that. There's actually cities that have white squirrels. So
Albinos, or is it just a white
they're
variety?
white.
Okay.
Gray squirrels.
Gray squirrels, I'm familiar
Gray
with.
squirrels are actually gray, black, and white, or white.
Oh, okay.
The white's rare.
Okay, more rare. Okay.
I mean, there can be albino squirrels, but
Right.
most white squirrels are just white squirrels.
I know in my particular neighborhood we have a lot of fox squirrels,
Yes.
and we're getting more black squirrels in. They're
And
more aggressive.
They are.
And they drive the fox squirrels out. That's
They-
what I understand.
They are.
So we're learning a lot about squirrels here, live ones and collectible ones.
Yes.
Holly, I'm wondering why squirrels? Why did it happen that you collected squirrels?
Well, they're cute. They're
Okay.
fun. They're fun to watch, enjoy. As I've collect them, and when people have seen me in some of my squirrel attire, people come up and tell me how much they like squirrels. Occasionally I get a person who tells me how
Yeah, I
much
was
they
going to say
don't
some
like
people don't.
squirrels.
Yeah, I know I got one in my attic and
So
I don't like
people
it.
that I don't, I've met people that I would have never,
Yeah.
not met if I didn't
All right.
do my squirrels, but they're fun.
Okay. And it's a magnet for people when they see
Yes.
it. Some people see
Yes,
it. Okay.
yes. I've met neighbors.
Okay.
There's a planter I have. A neighbor had a similar one, and I kept walking by that house until I found somebody outside to say, "Where did you get that?" And we became really good friends.
Okay. I actually have a cement casting of a squirrel that my wife brought home. It's in the garden.
Yes.
I'll give it to you next when I can. I would like to get rid of it, frankly. All right. Let's move on. All right, Holly, I know you got a couple other items. Let's take a look.
Yeah, a lot of my collection is special because of who gave it to me, or it signifies a special event.
Okay.
There's my 50th birthday. One of the special ones is from one of my really good friends who gave me this on our 25th wedding anniversary with flowers, the color from our wedding. She wrote a special message on the bottom that sadly wore off, but it's just special that it's like she finds the perfect items for an occasion. She's really
Right.
good at that.
Okay.
I also really like functional things like the backpack, but one of my ones that I use most days, not always in the summer, but is the shoehorn. It's a Jonathan Adler designed shoehorn. and it looks nice just sitting on my dresser,
Okay,
And-
and it's functional.
and it's fully functional.
All right.
So
And John Adler, he has
it's a design line.
and he has one with squirrels, or is this the only squirrel thing he did?
No, I have an ornament, I
Okay.
have a candle holder.
Okay.
He has made other squirrel items.
Okay, so he's also interested in squirrels, and he designs around them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And being a working in libraries for over 40 years now, anytime I can find something that's squirrels and books, I especially like that, and have several. One of the ones that's the most special to me is that a friend, we did a book theme, we had a book week each year at the elementary
Okay.
level, and so the one year we did squirrels, and a friend, this was like the logo that I created to use, and a friend had this made for me to match the logo. So having a squirrel reading the book with the glasses on is,
Perfect for a librarian,
yes,
right?
yes, just, yeah. So
Well, you have a Guinness record,
I do.
and we're going to do the next episode and talking about how do you actually become recognized by Guinness, and what is the process. So let's go to the next show.